I don't even want to say redemption tour, because there's nothing to redeem. It's their legacy that they have proven time and time again. And now, can the two seniors, alongside Jonah, do it just one more time?
Here's the deal. If you're talking about state championships, there's one even grander than that. And that might even be the nationals that PlayVS will have in the future. And that one might be fun to watch for. But of course, Calera, Rocket League Blue doing the exact same. We're looking at this squad of Blake as well as It's Bama in equal orbit. All three players also looking to take down the Titans of Bob Jones High School. So we'll see what they can do right now. Rolling out to start here. Game number one. High octane action. Not a lot of goals though. Couple demos in between.
I gave Bob Jones more than just their flowers, so I need to do the same for Calera. This is a school who I have not gotten to see. Even when I got to work that LAN event, they were not able to make it that weekend, and so this is a school where I've heard a lot of very positive words. I got to talk with members of Lee High School and Thompson High School. In fact, Thompson just won a state final, but put a pin in it because the senior leader has found the first.
Step one complete of about a, I would say, 8-rung ladder right there. You go ahead, get a goal. Next step, get a few more. Win game one. Rinse and repeat for the other 8, and you're golden. You're 4-0 home. Don't ask me how that math works. It just works in my head. We'll go ahead and dive in to this next minute of play because for Bob Jones, they're looking for a second right off rip and to really put that lead in their own hands very, very quickly. For Calera Rocket League of Blue, though, they are looking to try and help out on their own. They're still trying to get, I think, their aggression down to a comfortable state as that ball is going to be left right in the middle, but picked up by Bob Jones.
Well, before somebody scores again, might as well finish the point I was going to make earlier. Calera is a school that every other school in Alabama, even Bob Jones, said that they respect. I think it is almost unanimous discussion and decision that Calera is top 2 in the state. But in all of these players and in this program's history, they have yet to finally find a win over the legendary Bob Jones Fusion roster. Funny enough, Calera did find a way to beat Lee along with the Bob Jones B team as well. But this roster, this incredibly dynamic group of 3, have yet to be beaten. 8-0 on the year, and Calera is 7-1. But again, that is the margin between these two teams. Yes, Bob Jones are legendary, but Calera are giant slayers.
Calera, I mean, if there's ever a giant to slay, it would be here right now. First half fairly quiet for what we run, and as soon as I say it, I go ahead and curse it. Hiroki streaks in from midfield, slams home a second goal.
Hiroki, senior to senior, find their way at the halfway point here in game number 1. It is a best of 7. It's a very long series, but the earlier that you can get on your high horse and get these goals and play defense rather than offense, it takes a lot of the stress off these players.
Calera, of course, trying to get it under their own belt and yet again denied the opportunity. This crazy defense from Bob Jones is still showing their explosiveness. And as we round about to these 2 minutes in game number 1, it's exceptional. Calera still waiting for the chance, so that's going to be a long ball shot, and they make it. It's Bama. Slams home a banging goal.
It's Bama finds the left side of the net after Jonah gets caught out of rotation. Just too far, too soon, too quick. And with 2 minutes left to go, Calera, they're cracking open the door here.
I mean, it was a much needed goal, we'll be honest. That's a straight up demo. Midfield fish finding that option. Rolls it over one defender, but that's Blake to go ahead and deny any further aggression. Jonah, though, goes high, rolls it off the back of crossbar. Teammate ready in position, but it's Bama denying any further. Great offense defense. It's a double demo, though, off to the corner, but it rings the crossbar. Heartbreak for Calera. You hate to see it.
In Rocket League, you don't get the time, though, for your hearts to be broken. You will immediately find the counterattack on your backside as Fish. That touch a little too high, not able to find the backboard read just yet. Jonah and Actually, nobody from Bob Jones will be able to come and help. It's a double commit on the side of Calera to actually make sure that there's a play in order. Fish tries to stay close, but with only 5 boosts, has to let Jonah take a stab at this one. It will be up in the air. Here comes Hiroki, backboard off the corner!
Oh.
Redirect, slotted for the senior.
Hiroki 100% in terms of shot percentage, and it's Bama. It feels so bad to trail a ball like that, but it is what it is. Bob Jones currently +2 in this game 1. Hiroki immediate demo to deny any follow through after that kickoff. And Fish just playing airball with a minute left. Bob Jones can do whatever they wish, play as comfortably as they wish to get this game in their bank.
A minute left to go. Calera not finding a whole lot of room. That's a nice redirect, or at least a nice passing play, but regardless, no shot can be set out of that. Now Fish on the counter, gets a decent 50, and now Hiroki will try to cut it off. Is going to be overcommitted, though. Here comes It's Bama. Doesn't go for the bump, and so it will fall into the hands of Hiroki. 30 seconds left now. Equal will find one. What a pass! What a play! Off of one, on the wall, pinched at the right time and the right place. What a step-up moment between Bama and Equal.
I love that shot right there. And not because my namesake's in here somehow, but it's pretty dang good. And Calera waiting just 30 seconds left. Bob Jones going ahead and giving their due respect, saying, okay, you want to play, let's play. Blake screaming a save right there. Make sure to keep it off to that left side. It's going to be bounced midfield, going to be picked up. It's Bama. Not going to be able to get around Jonah anytime soon. Even though Calera are able to make it fairly close, 10 seconds left means this is a devastating moment to be in. Blake rounding it out on the left side. Is it going to be carried up? High lift. It's Bama goes up. Is there anyone else to receive? And I don't think so. Ball kept in motion for the time being, but dumped down to the ground. So it will be Bob Jones to hang on to game 1.
Holy. It got a little too close for comfort there towards the end. I thought that we maybe could have seen one more shot from Calera, but it is denied. And so Fish and Hiroki, the 2 seniors, will find their way into game 2 fairly comfortably. And I also got to add on some notes. We've really talked about it plenty of times that, yes, there are 2 seniors on the side of Bob Jones. Yes, it is awesome. And yes, those are 2 incredible young men. But also, these are 2 players who are on the cusp of going to play Scholarship Rocket League. I mean, we're talking about Fish, for example, just because he's the first one I could think of. Fish went on an official visit to Syracuse. And for those of you who know collegiate esports, Syracuse is potentially the biggest, or on their way to becoming the biggest Division I esports program in the nation. Not to mention, I'm sure that I'm not even going to say kid, that young adult has probably got tens and potentially more than just 20, 30 offers on the table. They're an incredible Rocket League player, and I fully expect Hiroki and Reach, who's on the bench for this game as well, to be in the same spot. But Calera's trying to shut all that up, and they were just one more shot away for potentially shutting it up in game 1. They couldn't do it yet. Bob Jones already on the attack, 10 seconds into game 2.
And of course, we saw this first minute break down just as much as you thought. It was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of kind of testing the waters, but that dead ball is going to lead to Blake finding a breaking opportunity. And Calera answering heavily and saying, yo, Bob Jones, where you at?
Great start for Calera. Needed to find that first one, especially given how consistent we've seen Bob Jones play up to this point. They did get some early attacks. Couldn't find much, though, but now Fish with a reset. Up and over one. Looks for the bar. Will find it, but can't find a tap once again. Bama, 180-degree flick to pop this one high. Jonah, not a lot of boost in an awkward spot. Quick counter. Equal does push that one high. Had an open net to try and press, but can't find it just yet. 40 seconds in. The scoring is already opened up. Fish has a shot. I think was looking for it to be a pass instead, but either way, too weak to do any real damage as Hiroki will have to reset on his back line. But in the meantime, here comes Bama. Equal misses. Blake is there. It will fall off, though, and now Jonah gets to start the counter.
Well, he tried to, at least. Taking a look as Bob Jones are just sitting there going, okay, how are we going to do this? Equal orbit chasing back and around. This all-out offensive from Calera has been never-ending, non-stopping, heart-pounding action. But Jonah saying, hey, I can do the exact same. Ran out of boost midway, tried to drop it into the net, but not even close. Hiroki meeting midway. Jonah bouncing it back up for a 2-touch. Hiroki coming around the corner. Blake meeting him in midair. Very nice read. And Jonah now with a little bit of boost in their bank has to roll on defense. Bob Jones, for some reason, feels very stifled here in this game, and as soon as I speak it off the backboard, Jonah angles in for a shot, but it's a good save once again by Calera.
Jonah had the open net, but actually shot it too far to the left. It wouldn't even have gone in, even if no one did hit it. It was almost 90 degrees off, so a tough one to give up there, but the pressure is still on. Bob Jones, at least in my experience casting this group of three, they are suffocating. They are relentless, and now, with a potential bump attempt, actually Hiroki misses it. Bama, 1v1, flick is weak, and Jonah's able to tap it out, but here comes Equal, tapping it up for Blake. Fish is there, is also completely dusted to that ball. Now off the sidewall, it's Bama tries to get back down. Jonah looks for Hiroki, who will fake it. Equal reads right through the smoke, though, and Calera doing a great job as we reach the halfway point of game number 2.
I mean, we wanted high octane, and I'll always say this, it feels like game ones, I don't know why, at least to me, game ones can sometimes feel a little bit more measured, a little bit more of the testing ground. Hey, what can we get away with? When do we really turn on the afterburners? And right now, it feels like Calera have really opened up here. Another demo on to Fish, denying any major pacing on the offensive. Equal rolling out, making sure Bama gets that pinch, sends it skyrocketing back towards Bob Jones, but not with enough speed. Blake trying to get back on defense as the rotation is held. Hiroki wondering if they can find it. Yet another demo as this aggression has been made as Jonah answers back. It's a quick twist towards the goal, but a great save by Equal Orbit.
Jonah tapping down, looks for a teammate, but only orange cars wait in the midst. Fish, corner, looks for more. Awkward play. Ball will be doubled on by Calera. It's Bama now gets a chance to give it away. Jonah will look for one more, has a teammate under, but now Hiroki off of Jonah, back to Fish, on the net. It will be off, just barely from the corner. 90 seconds to go, and Bob Jones knocking on the door, but just can't prop it open. Now Hiroki on the counter. What can he potentially find?
Apparently, not as much as we were hoping for. Ball slowed down a little bit as everyone's trying to battle for a little bit of space. And remember, Calera currently up 1-0. It's Bob Jones that are hunting for a gong, for a goal of their own. And I don't know if they're going to get it so much. Quick pass off the back, but Blake, I don't think was really ready for it. So the ball pops out to the left side. Minute left here in game number 2 as it feels like Calera might be able to make this into a 1-1 stance. And they'll be very happy about that. Off the crossbar again. It's Bama not able to get that goal.
Hiroki looking off the corner. Is there any more room to go to work? Fish had a shot, but double fake for Calera. Will now open up. It's Bama, but that 50 won't be successful. Jonah bumped off the ball and the wall completely. Misplay. Another one. Another double commit. Things are getting messy here. Bob Jones will try maybe 1 or 2 last-ditch efforts, but Blake is stalling a lot of time. Equal won't be able to help out. Awkward play. Open net. Fish to tie it up. He will not put it in. Denied by It's Bama. Here comes the counter off of Jonah's hood. Hiroki can't get there. A great touch from Blake. Another one from Equal. Jonah's got to find a teammate. Awkward first touch. Diving shot will not be found. Another 50 is there. Fish counter. Nothing. Wide open net. Calera finds the dagger. We will go even into game 3.
Heart pounding. For 4 minutes and 46 seconds, nothing but pure action. Constant demos, constant aggression on either end, and the fact that Calera can equally match Bob Jones' level of offensive maneuvers says something. You look at that, 5 shots from Fish denied, 6 total from the sides of Calera that netted just 2. Wild stuff.
It's an extremely quiet game from Hiroki as well. Fish and Hiroki easily 2 of the best Rocket League players in the state of Alabama. Not to mention that they're on the same team. that is not what you expect to see. Only one player getting the shots. It's a lot of tough possession for Bob Jones. And I already referred to this earlier, but on Saturday at the Georgia State Championships, I saw a lot of this. I saw GC2, GC3, SSL level players who, under the stress of a LAN environment, they tend to throw the ball away. They don't tend to play the game that you would expect from the tag that you're so used to seeing online during the regular season. So for Bob Jones, a team who, again, 2 of these players have won 8 state titles, not to mention they will be contending for a national title in just a few weeks because they're going to be in the PlayVS Cup. It's confusing that they're not playing their game, but it is their senior season, so maybe there's another layer to what we're seeing. And Calera, I mean, you're taking advantage of that beautifully right now. We are dead even in Game 3.
Now, granted, there's plenty more games played. This is the best of 7 and more to watch for. And we can see exactly how that pans out. Jonah stepping up to that middle of the field. Low ball roll, though, as Hiroki picks it up, dashes over the top, trying to carry it. But Blake able to read that pathing. Very nice and smart maneuver so far. Calera, for their own, might not be on that offensive just yet. They were all offensive in game number 2. Game number 3, it feels like Bob Jones, at least in the early minute, might be given some handles to work with. No boost in Hiroki, though, so you're not able to get back on defense just yet. Bama trying to set it up for a teammate. Hiroki sealing that one away.
It's a great touch from Hiroki. He does have an open net to try and get to quickly, as this will go off the backboard. Fish and Jonah nowhere to be found, though. Awkward touch for Fish. Sets up, it's Bama. This is off net, but it is awkward regardless. That's a great redirect, though, off the hood of Fish. Hiroki, corner, no double. It will be touched from Fish over to Jonah. A great 50. Now off the backboard, it's easily read by Blake. Counter, it's Bama, looks for possession, finds 2, finds a third, one more in order, no, denied, and Equal will not be able to find it. Blake all by themselves. Fish, a great 50, but a better 50 from the side of Equal. With no boost, also gets the clear. What a great stand by the solo person themselves.
It feels wild that we actually have to see a full clear just to get it out of net's range, just to kind of get it out of the hands and say, okay, let's kind of mental reset here. And it's the fact that it's Calera right now just dueling, constantly brawling for this ball, and yet we have had almost nothing to show for it. It is still 0-0. Goose eggs for either side. No one has had that comfortable space to start up and ramp up their aggression. An attempt to roll in as Hiroki tried to carry it into the goal, but again, Calera putting and marking 2 on the defensive end.
Awkward touch. It's Bama. A great pinch middle, but it is a little strong. So Jonah now gets to kickstart the counter. Does have Fish, but what a beat from It's Bama. They've been playing incredible this series thus far. Cutting off a lot of Bob Jones' comfortable plays in the midfield. As now here comes another one. This time it's the opposite way, though. Calera had a chance, and the counterattack was there for Jonah, but is denied. Equal pre-jump. It will go middle. Is there a teammate there? It's Bama is dusted this time around. Fish looking to push. Will have to play under, though. Jonah's bumped. Ball goes middle. Equal will miss. Jonah has to avoid the bump. Things getting dicey here. It is still 0-0, but Fish will look to change that. 1v1. It's off the net. He'll look to pitch it middle. There it is. Touch off the bar. Hiroki right side. It's Bama tries to save it off the bar, but it's not enough.
Culmination of absolute mayhem is all I saw right there. Left side crossbar, into the middle, dead ball, into finish. Hiroki being able to slam on the brakes that hard. I mean, it's just one. But Calera knows how difficult it is to even reach that stage of getting 1 goal. Both teams have been defending so well throughout and denying, even in the midfield, so we don't see those saves come out here. Bob Jones breathing a gentle sigh of relief as they hunt for their second here in Game 3.
Fish faking. Hiroki's there waiting, but Equal will cut it off. Now counter for Blake. Has a flip. Up and over with a bump on 1. Great mechanical showcase from them, but now Equal has to let them move out of the way. Is bumped out by a teammate. Now pass will go down. Equal was pre-jumped. It's a fake, actually, for Blake, or at least an attempted one at that. Now Jonah and Hiroki both fighting for the same boost. A little bit of friendly fire without the bump there, but a great 50 from Jonah nonetheless. Blake looks for Bama. Bama's already up. Bama slotting. What a save by Hiroki. Just about 70 seconds left to go, and Bob Jones making a senior stand. Here comes a read. Ball will not go middle just yet, but a little bit of panic from Bob Jones. The demos are coming out. 60 seconds left to go. Here comes a shot. It's Bama to tie the game. Up and under, up and over, but Jonah is there to save. The defense is truly making a stand here.
I don't think that's going to end anytime soon. With a minute left, the gears are spinning. Great hold on the top side. Calera having to get back on defense right now.
No.
And you can see Hiroki looking, trying to get a little bit of handles on where this ball is going to go. Passing play missed in the middle. Calera dropping that one and having to regroup on the defense. Pass towards the middle. Jonah being caught up, not getting a shot off, but Fish is there to kind of continue this fight down to the last 30 seconds here. Bob Jones saying, please give us that chance. Another demo to come out, though. And it's, again, just constant offense. Swing once, swing twice, swing a third.
15 seconds left, and here comes Calera. Well, Hiroki has a lot to say about that. Redirect, no! Own goal instead! And Calera found a dagger last game, and, well, Orbital, they'll find it again, just on the wrong side.
It feels so bad. Honestly, you were fighting so hard, and you knew you just had to chase and chase for that ball, and you chased it straight into your own net. This all but seals the deal for Bob Jones, as they're going to be extremely happy getting their second game on pretty much at a BO5. You just need to win 2 more for Bob Jones to continue this legacy of excellence. It can only be just. Right now in the grand finals of the AHSAA Rocket League Championship. We're right back into the mix. 2-1 for Bob Jones.
Well, for those of you joining us late, welcome to the Alabama High School State Championships. We have been through a lot today. Splatoon, Madden, Smash Bros, and we finally get to end the day off with Rocket League. On the other side of the booth is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Orbital, and my name is DJ TJ. So far, we've got, I don't know if it's a thriller just yet, but Orbital, it's pretty dang close.
It is, and it was interesting when you called it quiet back in game number 2 as well. We were talking about the number of shots that went down, and by any metrics, it feels like this would be a quiet game. You take a look at, what, 6 or 7 shots on goal, maybe only 2. But honestly, it's where we don't see those goals, where we don't see those shots, where everything kind of explodes even further. The fact that we are so quiet with such high-level gameplay means that a lot of these challenges are coming out in the midfield. The whole reason that I always look at the stats and I say, well, you can't always look at the stats, right? You can't always look at that. A lot of those shot registries aren't going through because they're being challenged so far out. It's not even being seen, but we're seeing Hiroki. We're seeing the likes of Josh just constantly flying in front. And the entirety of Calera, always in their face. Blake, equal orbit, looking for those demos. Blake even getting in on the mix.
I'm glad you brought up the quiet point, but hold on now, because we are getting loud already. 7 seconds in, Jonah top left.
I cannot believe it. What happened to quiet? What happened to us talking about this expert aggression, constantly bumping into each other, both going at 60 miles an hour? It's changed.
Ball will sit middle. Jonah will try and take possession. I'll very quickly touch on the point I was making about what's quiet. I said Hiroki was the one being quiet. But you know what? It won't matter, because once again, I'm just going to stop talking. Another goal comes through.
I gotta agree with you. I realized I took that out of turn, and I apologize, because right now both teams are like, you said quiet. There is no quiet when it comes to Rocket League. We are matched at 1-1, where before it took almost 3.5 to 4 minutes on average to get that singular goal. Let's see who scores the next, as again, for Bob Jones, if you get that extra, it's gonna be huge. You're gonna be up on championship point at that moment, if you're able to take this game.
Redirect off the backboard, no major read, so we'll just be Bob Jones resetting once again to try and find some room. Jonah will find some midfield. We'll find Equal, who actually puts it midfield, but instead it will be a passing play. Redirect, or sorry, clear, will end up being an attempted redirect from Fish looking for a teammate, but nothing just yet. It's Bama. Great dunk on Hiroki, and now has a 1v1. Jonah on their back foot. Has to be careful where this ball is touched. Fish is there. Does get the beat. Bama, quick turnaround. Does miss. It could be an open net. Fish, 1v1. Will go over one. That they will. The senior leader finds the lead.
Fish swimming up the river of competition. Gonna be turning into a dragon if they were a salmon. There's so much here to unpack. High flying action. And I love that Bob Jones is throwing down with the best of them. Hiroki seeing a chance at an open net. You can get out the backboard. It's right there. Off kickoff is a third. Bob Jones putting a statement game on the record.
Well, the tag says full throttle. Does it not? You gotta take it at face value. Given the experience and the tenure of the seniors, they are built for moments like these. Again, I'm gonna say it only one more time, and we'll say it again. 8-time state champions for a reason. You gotta respect the throne, but as I say that, slight miss there, slight miscommunication on the back line, but here comes the counter once again from one senior to another.
Hiroki stepping up to the plate, had the high flyer last time, and now Calera maybe up to speed on how dangerous this was. Ooh. What in the world? Bob Jones leaving an open net for Calera to bring it back to a one-goal game.
Hold on now, rewind. It's Bama was on the side while waiting for the pass, gets bumped into the shooting slot, and uses the flip. No wonder that net was open. Nobody was expecting the instant shot, but Hiroki bumped its Bama directly into it. What an incredible mechanical play right there. Pre-jumped over to Blake as well. Calera is really feeling it more than I've seen almost any high school team in the entire nation do, but they've got to find one more to tie it up.
At the same time, Bob Jones aren't going to make it as easy. They know what it costs to get a single goal here. They know the tensions are rising to its utmost limits. It's only going to continue as we go game by game. Fish flipping around, getting that kick before Calera can get into range. Hiroki off the left side, banks it over to Jonah. Jonah off the crossbar. Fish going to try and pinch it. Dead ball right in the center again. But the offense is stuffed. Calera punting that one out.
Continuing on, we're at the halfway point. Game number 4. As now we'll see Fish push this one over and away. Jonah, awkward. This could just be in, and that it will! Complete catastrophe for Bob Jones Fusion. What in the world is this?
Well, this time it's Bama saying, yo, last time was an accident. This time it's for real. Sneaking it past 2 defenders, and no one else was in range. Bob Jones starting to slip up here, and it feels like both teams are letting the defense kind of lack, which I don't hate, but it is causing a bit of chaos. Both teams recognizing that there are some moments that they can exploit. Equal, rounding it out to the right side. Hiroki dancing right in the midfield. Right now, that's a roll in. It's Bama taking a long ball shot, but it's picked up by Jonah, running the opposite direction. Fish waiting off the corner. And yet again, Calera with great rotations.
Fish trying to get in the way of the play, but it's Bama in no rush to make anything happen. Blake, awkward. It will be met by Jonah. Does fall into the hands of Equal, though, who is able to push it away. Completely tie game here. You can't afford to make a wild mistake on the defensive side. Backboard, corner instead for Fish, who will get it middle. Hiroki's there, but no shot just yet. It's Bama. Does find Jonah, who will look for Fish, who will maybe be able to look middle for another teammate. Hiroki is in the area, but can't find much more. Blake, awkward, but that's a great pinch. Will still be in the hands of Bob Jones. No major play will come through until right now, and the net opened up temporarily. Equal is there, looks for the read. Here comes a shot. Fish finds 2 saves in a row with 70 seconds to go. What an incredible stand-up moment for them. And now the pitch goes the whole length of the field. The senior strikes.
What a moment! Blake just had the ball stolen, looked backwards, and is like, that is the worst possible thing that could happen. But Bob Jones ecstatic. Before we head to the final minute, Bob Jones back in the lead, whether by hook or by crook. They have made it here in our highest scoring game yet.
Fish will tap this ball up. Nobody there to take it over just yet. Hiroki back on net. Blake, though, looks for the counter. It's Bama's on the back line. The best player for Calera thus far, not in the attack just yet, waiting for their moment to shine. And here it is, looking to keep possession. No one there once again. No second man for Calera. 30 seconds left. Maybe another shot for Bob Jones. It's met, though. Hiroki. Someone's got to get to the net. Hiroki does grab enough boost to quickly turn and go, but it's a little dangerous. Blake is out of the play. Hiroki looks for the net. Jonah's there for the reception. We'll look now off the corner, but it's met very well by its Bama. Going the entire length of the field is still in the play. Will find something before being demoed. Is now Jonah. Will force Blake to jump early. Does still win the 50. Here comes flashes of game number 1. Will Calera find one more shot here? Here comes it's Bama and Blake. They will be denied. Ball will not stay up because it's Bama couldn't do it. Bob Jones goes up 3-1 in the series.
Took a little bit of time and a lot of hard stopping moments, but with 12 shots by 4 each, Bob Jones able to secure 4 points, and Calera, it was close, but they only had 5. You can see the level of determination from Bob Jones this time around. Constant aggression, constantly in their face, and well matched in every twist and turn. We are now at championship point. Bob Jones just need one more.
I also will correct myself on a point that I have made for most of the games. Fish is actually a junior, believe it or not. It is Hiroki who is solely a senior. After Twitch chat has helped me out, and I'm sure many of the parents over in the arena have been yelling at me, I wish I could hear you, but Fish tweeted saying that today is the last game for both him and Hiroki. I misconstrued it as they were both seniors. Hiroki's a senior, Fish is a junior, which means that if Fish wins this match, this game, right here, Fish could actually win 10 state titles if he's able to get one his senior year. So that's another story for another year. We've got one more game between Bob Jones and another year of domination in Rocket League.
Let's see if they can do so right now. Rush around the field. Fish carrying it up on the right side, but it's turned right back on its head as Calera is saying we want to make our own mark. We will no longer be in the shadows of greatness. We will be that light for others to see, and we will want the spotlight for ourselves. High ball, though. Challenge in midfield as Hiroki trying to swing it as hard as possible. And not able to get underneath it, so it is going to be Calera making sure to keep this pace up. Remember, back in game number 2, it really felt like Calera were on pace for a comfortable series. They were willing to trade blows left, right, and center with Bob Jones.
Fish will look to find room, but is met again by equal. Somebody who's been slowly stepping up throughout this series, but it's almost been like we have yet to see Calera find a moment where all 3 players have peaked, or at least been comfortable in their own tires. And now with the potential open net, it's Bama is there. Will find the read. Another touch from Blake, and Calera strike first once again.
Well, good steps in the right direction. This time it's Bama in perfect position to help out Blake. And it worked so well. The reads were immaculate there. And Calera, once again, last time this happened, we had a dry spell about 3.5 minutes before we saw any other action. Actually, I think time ran out. It was Calera to just sit on 1 on their victory. So maybe trying to do that again here just to push us to a game number 6.
I mean, regardless, very few Rocket League players have been able to make a 3-1 series comeback, especially at the high school level at PlayVS. But it has been done before. Calera simply 3 minutes to start away from kicking off that faint dream and turning it into reality. But those 3 minutes will start to feel very long, especially as the Bob Jones attack only seems to get stronger as the game goes along. Jonah will try and take a stab middle here, but it's Bama waits perfectly on that ball. Is bumped off for the time being, though, and Hiroki has to be careful. No major touch for both him and Fish. Jonah has to back it up. Can't find a touch. Is that just going to be it? Yes, it is. It's complete miscommunication once again for Bob Jones, and Blake gets a freebie.
Take a look at how all the cars are positioned as well. Everyone had their back turned. Everyone was completely juked out by Blake. And it was one of the most comfortable twists that we've seen. Calera put it to a +2 in their name and are now going for the demolition style ending. Whoa. Good stop to make sure it's not a third, as well as Bob Jones have to be a little bit frustrated but respectful. Calera fighting back here in this series.
Halfway through game number 5, redirect for It's Bama. How about another shot? Calera can't find the back of the net a third time just yet. It's Bama will look middle. Great 50 is found by Hiroki, but it's already back in play. Jonah, no boost, is able to find a touch, but will it last? It's Bama on the net! What a turnaround from them! It is now 3 in a row for Calera.
Honestly, this is out of this world play. Calera waking up and constantly finding these small mistakes. Bob Jones, it seems like they're getting a little bit stressed here in terms of where they want their defense.
Whoa.
Double demos even, as that's going to leave the net a little bit undefended. And they are going to be up to respawn, or maybe I spoke too soon. Equal Orbit says we ain't equal anywhere. Swings of fourth in monumental fashion.
That is now the second time that Bob Jones have let complete chaos happen in front of their net this game. 2 players on the backboard. No excuse why no one's able to find that ball, and that's a critical moment for Bob Jones in this game. And I don't want to say that you have to go ahead and start mentally getting ready for game 6, but it feels like it may just be that way. 2 minutes left to go here, and Bob Jones hasn't had really a single moment of greatness on the defensive half for Calera, or really anything even in the midfield.
Honestly, for Bob Jones, I hate saying this, but at this point, I'm almost sitting there going, hey, we got to look at the future. We got to look at something different. We got to look at game number 6. You're up 3-1. You can afford to take it a little bit more comfortably. You don't have to get so worried. You don't have to get frazzled. But Calera, you want to break their minds. You want to sit there and be able to break the mentals right now, because this is how you start the stories of a reverse. This is how you start the stories of a comeback.
Almost a minute to go. Still no major shot for Bob Jones. A nice triple commit will be forced, but no one's there to take direct capitalization off of it unless Hiroki's able to find one, and it will be too slow. It will be placed well, but at what cost if it doesn't get past a player? It's Bama will now look to fake their way past one, but with a minute to go, it all seems like it's just a formality as to the end of this game here, Orbital.
It really does, and I think for Calera, of course you got to defend, but you have to be looking at what went right this time around. 1, double demos, causing chaos, making sure to kind of rip apart that playmaking action, as that's just another period at the end of an amazing sentence of goals. Calera 5-0 for this game alone.
Blake is 3 for 3. Do not let that just slip through the cracks. Blake is having a career-defining game right now. Granted, it is a blowout game, but Blake has put a lot of the pressure on when it's mattered the most. And now we've officially reached the point where if you're Bob Jones, you just got to let this one kind of roll off the shoulder, take it on the chin, and you realize that you still got 2 games to make this state championship happen. I can't imagine the amount of coaching that Coach Aubrey White is doing right now, and Bob Jones is going to try and maybe find a pity goal here and there, but again, it doesn't matter. 10 seconds left. You got to regain and just be ready to play in game 6, because that is what Calera is going to force. One more game will stand between them and going to 7.
I think at the end of the day, you just wiped this one from your memory, but for Calera, it's the start. It is the sound of that midway point. You have now reached 2 out of 4 that you need, and take a look at the number of shots for them this time. 10 total. Constant aggression, twice as many as Bob Jones. And Bob Jones, for their own, only 1 save in the back pocket. Once again, a very quiet set from Fish and Hiroki, but maybe not exactly by their choice. I mean, I think Calera was out for blood in some of those engagements.
It feels like Bob Jones got a little too comfortable a little too quick. You can't look at the score in Rocky League and just immediately go off of that, but what you can gain from the score is that you get 2 points per touch you get on the ball. All right? Every single member of Bob Jones had no goals, no assists, barely any saves, and still were under 200 points. So in terms of the possession battle versus where all of Calera was 400 or higher, not to mention that obviously we saw Blake with 754, I think was the exact number, or something like that. You could at least say that the possession battle has been absurdly one-sided in that past game, and it's very uncharacteristic from the series that we've seen thus far. So for Bob Jones, in order to make this game at least interesting, you've got to take control, you've got to take your time, and you've got to stay mentally adaptable, ready. You can throw any turn in the coaching world you want out there. You've got to bring it here in Game 6 if you want to become a state champion for the 9th time for some of these players.
You have to be malleable, you have to be adaptable, you have to be hungry for the victory. We are into game number 6, high ball chance as Bob Jones are looking for an early goal once again. That's one of the reasons that they actually won. I think it was game number 5 of some very quick goals, kind of putting the pressure onto Calera. And that's what we're going to be looking at once again. Jonah rounding the corner here, saying, okay, let's look and see who has those options. Right now, everyone, once again, kind of fielding those small options. Do we want to put a 3-man offensive? Do we want to do a 2-1? Do we want to play a little bit more conservative? We got a rule 1. Oh, no, we got a rule 1 on the field.
Between Jonah and Equal as well, which in my opinion means that the most talented 4 players on the pitch are together right now, trying to find a way to win in a 2v2. Oh my pinch! Fish! A worldie to potentially put a dagger in the state championship. What a shot!
You had to take advantage. You had to take advantage of the fact that it went from a 3v3 to a 2v2. You knew the rotation was gonna have a gap in there, and Fish, with one of our first long ball expeditions, it felt like beautiful angle, but Blake about to do the same. Hiroki making sure that hits the crossbar and bounces right back out, ensuring that no other mistakes occur. But that rule 1 might have just saved Bob Jones and given them the leg up in this game.
Fish could find another one. Looking backboard, would have had the read. Is denied by Blake, who has been a true catalyst in the last 10 minutes of gameplay. But the entire team of Calera knows they have to step up as a unit, as a family, as a true soccer club to find a way into this one. Fish is denied of a second, but Hiroki will not. 2-0 for Bob Jones.
Insane action across, and it is just not stopping. Hiroki making sure to follow up, and at the end of the day, it's a team game. Bob Jones looking like threats here, seeing the finish line this time, and they haven't stepped too far out of their comfort zone. They have not been the ones to worry. They had struggles in game number 5. Game 6 feels like it's falling into their hands.
Fish has woken up on the wrong side of the bed this game. Fish has been a demon thus far and will look to continue to do that. A great 50, but can't find the next touch. Hiroki try to take a stab of his own. Jonah's there, back to Hiroki. Equals there with plenty of boost and doesn't find the pinch, but it won't matter because it's Bama is there. It's an awkward corner ball. Fish does get the first read. That is on net. Hiroki comes through. Counterattack could be and should be in order, but Fish is slow to it. It's free for It's Bama. Now Hiroki will try to cut this play off, and an incredible jump from the other side of the field. As now Jonah will look for net. Is that a third? Yes, it is! Bob Jones at the halftime point find a banker off the side.
I don't like to say it, DJ, but I feel like some of the air is coming out of Calera's tires. It feels like they're a little bit deflated as Bob Jones are racing towards that finish line. A 3-0 stance as we head to the second half. I want to see Calera fight back. I want to see them angle in. And yet it feels like Bob Jones are starting to have their number crossing up. You called for Bob Jones to have more field possession, to have more touches, to have more control over this ball, and they are doing it in style.
Wait a minute! Don't jinx it yet, Orbital! Don't jinx it yet! We are not out of the woods by any means as Blake puts that ball exactly where it needed to be. No shot, no major force, gets 2 players on the top of the net, and now Calera is back in the game. This is not for the state championship just yet. Bob Jones, you've got to earn it.
This is going to be that test. At the end of the day, Calera, they're fighting hard. Their backs are against the wall. Another shot angled in. Jonah just testing the waters yet again. Just like, hey, can I make this goal? Can I get away with something like this, but now it's a sprint by Bama. Going to pick it
Whoa.
up, circles around one, but pinches off the corner. Is anyone there? No, Jonah denies a follow-up. And Bob Jones trying to kick out for the last minute and a half or so.
Is that going to be in
Oh,
for
no.
Jonah? Yes, it is!
Oh, my gosh!
Another corner slot! He paints the left, he paints the right. It doesn't matter!
Jonah, what are these goals right now? DJ, is this what you expected from Bob Jones? Because they are going crazy.
Again, it's not over just yet. This could be a shot right here. It is denied by Fish, but yes, to answer the question, I was expecting this about 3 games ago from Bob Jones, based off what I've seen from this roster. But Calera has continued to put on a show and could find a comeback, but they need to find a goal in the next probably 20 seconds here. Equal will try to do that. It's Bama is there, but miscalculates the jump and gets too far off the side. 60 seconds is all that stands between Hiroki and a senior season championship.
55 seconds. The finish line in front. The trophy in your eyes. And Hiroki, seeing 3 goals difference, is probably already celebrating. Bob Jones High School, another trophy is looking like it's under your belt. And I will sit here and say it. I don't care if it's a Casacris Calera have fought a valiant battle. The Fish puts another staple. 5-1 with 30 seconds left. Fish is getting their due rewards.
Victory lap for Bob Jones. Victory lap for Fish. Easily the best player in the entire state of Alabama. And one of the best when the PlayVS Cup makes its way towards the end of May. What an incredible showing from Bob Jones. They'll deny this opportunity, and Hiroki will deny the next one as well. No highlight clips just yet. I take it back! Jonah, redirect for good measure. A slot between 2.
Listen, they seen what Calera can do before, and they're just trying to cross all their T's, dot all their I's, and put the finishing touches on their series. 17 seconds left. Demos out the wazoo.
For 7.
It's Bama just watching these roll in. Hiroki finding their second as well.
We are going to Brazil here in the state of Alabama. Hiroki has put the emphasis, the exclamation point, every single little piece of pronunciation you could ask for has been given and then some. 13 seconds left. Blake will flick that ball too high. Orbit will kick it off. 6 seconds left. You can see the countdown. It will hit 0. Bob Jones, it is lucky number 9. One of the most dominant programs in PlayVS history. And Fish, or sorry, I take it back. Fish gets 9. Bob Jones gets lucky number 10. Double-digit Rocket League state titles. And look at the stats. Bob Jones, you have earned it. And for Hiroki, congrats on an incredible career. And to Fish and Jonah, I'll see you next year at this point. What a showcase.